Okay, we're going to go to Anna from Radfem Berlin now. So Anna is the founder of Radfem Berlin, a German activist group. She's a researcher and writer, and she is going to do a report about the International Feminist Resistance organized by Radfem Berlin, particularly around the big demonstration and event in September, but whatever else. Thank you so much, Anna, and over to you.
This is the photo of the women arriving to the protest. We make the protest in front of the Chancellor office in Berlin. And so basically I will explain roughly the situation with the laws here in Germany and how the gender agenda is pushing in Germany. So this is we have currently a legislation that allow men to be named women as a legal fiction, which is the TSG or the transsexual law. They want to eradicate that and install the self-ID law. And on the past 30th of June 2022, they kind of presented this project. They said that by the end of September, they would start already the process to have the law implemented in Germany or enacted in Germany or passed by the end of the year. So these are some of the points. They said that they will abolish the transsexual law and replace it according to the current regulation. It requires a court procedure in which two expert opinions must be obtained to have this legal fiction into the documents. And they claim that these procedures are very long and they cost a lot of money. So this is why they want to take this law down and put the self-ID. The change of the gender will basically affect transgender, non-binary, intersex. So basically they're profiting from the intersex people, that here in Germany there is another law for intersex people. So they use them to hide all of this agenda and to push for the self-ID into the laws. So this is, and then the next point also is that from the age of 14, the minors can make the declaration themselves to say that they feel like the other sex. And with the consent, they need, of course, the consent of the legal guardian, but in case they don't have that, they can go to the court and get it through the court. And they can change the gender legally once a year if this law is enacted in Germany. The law will also contain a prohibition on disclosure subject to a fine. So it means that if we don't say that a man is a woman, then we get a penalty, basically. So, and we basically we based our protest and the location of the protest on what happened before the elections last year, where Olaf Scholz, which is the current German chancellor, went on television to promise this transactivist that if he gets into power, so his party gets into power, that they are going to pass the gender ID law. This happened on television, and this is the transactivist that attacked Radfem Berlin last year for weeks. They really wanted to take all of our accounts down. They didn't want to let us say what we had to say. He attacked me personally also. He searched for photos of me online, very old photos of me. And he started saying how ugly I was. He started attacking also on my nationality. And he claimed that Latinas are just a big ass. So he had very xenophobe comments about me. And for us, this man, so this trans activist is very linked to the media here in Germany, or it seems like this, that all the TV online Instagram accounts were defending him. So he seems to be someone kind of connected to this, to the media. And to us, to me especially, is a little bit shocking, because that the current German chancellor is connected to this kind of, I don't know, xenophobe comments, or this kind of transactivists having this kind of behavior. It gives a feeling that what the German government now is aligned with such xenophobe comments, or like normally we get these kind of comments from the right wing, or not from the socialist, like where Olaf belongs. Olaf is from the SPD, so he's from the socialist parties. So for us, it's a little bit shocking to hear such things. So this is why we planned the protest in front of his office. And even before we published all the details about our protest, we already got a counter action, a counter rally planned. And this time they were completely organized. The prostitution lobby and the trans lobby were connected to all the all the media, all the Instagram influencers. So all of them were posting, calling people to act against our demonstration. So here is our official flyer. So we were calling women to come. And then they were calling to counteract our action. They were really searching the Berlin police page to know exactly the details. So this is where the office of the chancellor was. This is where we were. This is where they registered the first counteraction against us, but then they moved here closer. So they really wanted to scare us out. They made campaigns everywhere. They even started collecting money because they had to pay for the people that came to their demo to speak. So it was, they were promising that 500 trans activists would come. So many of the women were already, of course, asking us if this would be safe, if this would be canceled. And they were kind of getting a little bit scared about it. And this is exactly what this, so this is roughly what started happening like 2-3 days before the demonstration happened. We were in this very famous magazine from Germany, among others, calling trans activists to come to disturb our our demonstration. Behind this, it was the trans activist movement, but also like the prostitution lobby of Germany. This is the second time they act against us. And this is where they say that this time Sheila Jeffreys was coming, which is a TERF from the UK. So they knew that Sheila was coming. And even though we had all of this pressure, we had all of these threats and everything they threatened us also to be dangerous together. So they wanted us to cancel everything, to get so scared that we cancel everything. So we published very fast that it's illegal in Germany to not to allow a protest to happen. So if that would be the case, that we were ready to have legal actions against that, because we would have our protest anyways. So I think when we published this, that we are not going to cancel anything, I think this was taken by the trans activists like, okay, so this is going to happen anyways, and might have led to some not to come to the demonstration, because of course, when we are going into legal terms, they might also feel not so safe. But in Germany, it's like this, you cannot prevent someone from protesting. So this is how we arrived to the protest. So this is Sheila from behind, this is Esperanza, so everything was very calm. The Berliner police kept them very far from us, so we were able to have our protest. And of course, we had a program. These were our demands. We also published them together with a security protocol to make sure that the women could have some advice on what to do in case something happened, but actually the police was acted super well, like the last time also. And this is where the speakers that we had Sheila, of course, Dr. Ingeborg Kraus, that she's an activist for the Nordic model. We had all kind of activists and feminists talking there. Then, of course, we also had Liane and Sarah from Get the Loud. They also gave very nice speeches, very nice, so super nice. This is Ingeborg Kraus. So this is some photos of the event when it started. So we had women from all parts of Germany, all kinds of ages and backgrounds and cultural backgrounds. This was, we always make, so every time we have so many women coming, because this time we counted 164-ish, more or less, because then in the middle it rained. So whenever we have so many women coming to our events, it's a very big pleasure for us because we are separatists and we are always for lesbian resistance. So we don't allow men. So, and this also brings a backlash, not to accept men, but it also brings women writing to us saying how important this is. Like, we don't accept men in our demonstrations. There we also had the support from Francis from the WDI Germany, Laura Sabatiera from WDI Peru. And here we have to make a special thanks to Lara because she is helping Radfem Berlin since very long, and we are very thankful to her. She did a great job for us. And this was the counteraction of the transactivists. So basically they received us on the train station with a vandalized ad display. And then this was them, basically. They were not 500, they were hardly 100, 110, something like this. There was then a man that he says that he's a woman that went to their side to say how dangerous the self-ID laws are, and they even kicked this person. They didn't want to hear about him. And this is what you see on the second photo. And then they said that feminists and these kind of men that are against the self-ID, even though they call themselves women, are going against trans children. So basically they are kind of instrumentalizing children to put us in a very bad light. You know? Like, we are against the decision of children of ideas like this. And this is not the case. So this is one of the photo when we were in the middle of the demonstration. And yes, basically at the end of the rally, the big danger that we had were 3 girls that came to throw eggs at us, but we were far from there, so nothing happened to us. And normally, when we register a protest, we have until certain time. And this time we couldn't really continue further than this because the police didn't allow it. So there were 2 speeches that could not happen. But we had the video of one of them, so we included this speech into our documentation. And on the next day, we had the presentation of the book of Sheila. And this was also like very important because the women were already very, how can I say, like, the feeling was great because the previous day, after the demonstration, we went all together to eat, to drink something, then we went to a bar, so we were kind of interacting and connecting with each other. And on the next day, we had another talk from Sheila, where she talked about the content of the book. We selected many essays from Sheila, and we translated them into German. And they were around 30 women in the 35 women in the presentation of the book. We had to organize this also not publicly, so we had to create like some sort of net underwear. Like a secret net between feminists, that one feminist tell the other feminist and so on, not to get cancelled, because in Berlin it's very hard. As soon as they know something, they would automatically cancel the event, and we couldn't afford that. After the presentation of the book, there was a nice discussion, and it was a great moment for all women to get closer to understand political lesbianism and why lesbians need to come out to see women, and to understand that radical feminists know that heterosexuality is a system to oppress females into male subordination. So this is...
Because as soon as you get the men out, you see women. So from that time onwards, revolutionary feminism was a distinctive strand of feminism in the UK. Revolutionary feminists were mostly lesbians. In fact, I think possibly they were all lesbians. It was really a kind of lesbian faction. And we analysed heterosexuality, and we promoted lesbian feminism, and we promoted lesbianism. We also wrote the political lesbian paper out of that faction. And we concentrated on analysing male sexuality, and our activism was about fighting violence against women, pornography, prostitution, sadomasochism.
So this was where the book presentation happened. It was super nice. We had the chance to discuss with Sheila, ask questions. It was super nice. And after this, we went to eat something again and to drink something together. We had a kind of lesbian activist weekend with Get the Loud, Liane and Sarah as well. It was very nice. It was super nice. And of course, we also got the support for Women Scotland. They made like a parallel action to support ours online. So they went to the German embassy in Scotland they printed banners in German even to support our action. So this was great. And then to our surprise, 9 days after the protest, the German government publishes that they are going to kind of take longer to start the process of passing the self-ID law. So they are not going to do it now. They said that at least they need until the end of the year. And let's say the weird part is that they had such big fixed plans to enact this law and to start the process of the self-ID that now suddenly they are saying that they will take longer. So it's a way to postpone it. And they also didn't give any reason why. So this is also very strange, but this is happening. We are feminists in Germany. We are winning some time, let's say. So we are going to keep going. And this is why we are organizing here from Radfem Berlin, and in Berlin, we are going to go ahead and have monthly protests every month. So the idea is to gather together, inform the people. We're going to go to the Brandenburger Tor next October 29th. And the idea is that we are not going to stop until the German government gives up this misogynist and lesbophobe laws. So this is what we're doing next. So everybody that wants to come and support, please contact us. We are going to do this monthly. And we also encourage other women in Germany, if they want to do this in different cities, to go one day a month to protest against this until the government stop erasing women and girls here in Germany. And you can read our manifest online, where with all our demands.